Then after that, Leonardo da Vinci, he was a technocrat as well as a wonderful artist. Uh, Everybody knows him for his famous painting Mona Lisa. But he also was a technocrat. He designed a structure of flapping wing which can be attached onto the body of the man, but that was only on the drawing board. That means no experiment of that type was ever possible. Many other attempts also were made in the field of flying, but none of them was successful. This was the 15th and 16th century, 17th century also, the efforts were going on. A good news came actually from India, but again, totally not recorded anywhere. It was in 1895. So it was 1895 means about 8 years before the Wright brothers flew their maiden first flight as per the records. It was made by Shivkar Bapuji Talpade. He was a Sanskrit scholar and also a good teacher in JJ School of Arts and a technocrat as well. He could interpret those missing links and he could construct an aircraft based on the verses in Rigved and as well as in Samarangan Sutradhar and Brihad Viman Shastra. And on the banks of Mumbai, Girgaon, he made a demonstration of this. The aircraft model that he had made could reach up to about 1500 feet and later on came it down. After that, because many eminent personalities were present, Mr. Lalji Narayan was present, then Mahadev Govind Ranade, he was the Chief Justice at that time, he also was present. Maharaja Sayajirao Gayakwad of Baroda also was present, and they were literally surprised to see the performance of this aircraft and suggested that this aircraft should be shown to the British engineers for the further improvement and perhaps for the commercialization also. But Talpade didn't want to do it. Now, after that, nothing happened, not even a news. A small news appeared in Delhi Kesari at that time, as they say. I have not seen it, but that was the only newspaper at that time run by Lokmanya Tilak. The India was under the British yoke, and such type of the news or success news of the Indians were completely suppressed. Just like many other things were suppressed by the Britishers, this news also was suppressed. Later on, we made an attempt to follow this. All we could do find out was that Mr. Talpade lost his wife in some epidemic at that time, and he lost a complete interest in everything. He was living in Chira Bazar, a place called as a Dukkarwadi. So he was a resident there, and all his material later on was sold. We found out who purchased that material, and we only could get the information that it was purchased by the British company Raleigh India. And what happened after that of all that material and everything is still unknown. So you can see that 1895 is not a long story. It is just about 120 years back. But even of that episode or of that event, we are not able to find any proof today except for the small pieces coming from here and there. Then how can we find out the proofs at the time of Ramayana and Mahabharata? It is just not possible to find any material proof like that. Okay, so coming back to the point that this was the area when some good news from India came, but it never was released or was the world never knew anything about it. In the meanwhile, a better success was achieved by the people who were working on lighter than air side. Now, what type of the material can be lighter than air on the earth? The two brothers, Montgolfier, they have been observing the fire And then they discovered that when the fire is ignited, along with the fire, many small particles, small pieces, ash, everything flies up and up. And the distance of flight is pretty high, especially in Europe it is pretty high, because you know that the temperature, outside temperature of the air in Europe is very low, as compared to that the temperature of the fire is very high. So there all these things were flying high in the air, and that is a simple natural phenomenon, that the hot air is lighter than the cold air, and that is why it was rising. But in those days the Montgolfier brothers thought that that must be some sort of a mysterious gas coming out of the wood, and they named that gas as a phlogiston. So phlogiston was the name given to that gas. There was nothing like that, it was just the hot air. But the experiment was worth making. So that is why they prepared a very huge balloon of silk. And why silk and not the cloth? Because you can see that the silk can be woven very tightly, so that the air can't escape out of this. The cotton cannot be woven in that fashion. So that is why they selected the silk. A very large balloon of the silk was prepared. It was mounted on the hearth, and the fire was ignited underneath. The gas was let in, the balloon inflated and became very tight and quite difficult to hold, and the first trial balloon was released with a cock, a duck, and a sheep inside. Well, the balloon went to quite a considerable distance, maybe about 1000 feet or so, and later on safely landed without any harm to any of these animals. Then after that, the second experiment they did was with a human being inside, and then they selected one Mr. Rosier, who was a doctor himself. That was very nice of them, because if anything happens, then at least the doctor would know what to do. So they selected a doctor, and along with them one of the Montgolfier brothers ascended up in the air up to about 1500 feet on a larger balloon, and they also landed very safely. So this ballooning activity was catching up, and it was becoming quite successful. And this branch developed very fast, because all the required material and everything was easy to attain. Basically, there was not much of the science involved in it. The shape and size, nothing matters. You can make it of any shape and any size. Later on, it was discovered that the round balloons drift along with the air, and it is very difficult to control the direction. So they made the oblong balloons in a form of the cigar. So such cigar shaped balloons were made, and ultimately this went in the development up to the Zeppelins. The Zeppelin was an enormous ship developed by the Ferdinand Graf von Zeppelin. He was a German, and he developed this of 772 foot. Actually, it was the hydrogen filled ship, because after the hot air, J.C. Charles also tried the same thing with the hydrogen, and hydrogen being much lighter than air, it was giving a better performance than just hot air. So that is why the hydrogen balloons also were in action. Now that extension was given by Ferdinand Graf von Zeppelin, who developed an enormous ship. Measurements will amaze you. It was 772 foot long and almost 40 foot in height. That means the 4-storied building was the diameter of that. 772 foot means literally a sort of the warship. So that was the size, but it could carry only the 80 passengers. The carrying capacity was just about the 80 passengers, and these ships were extremely effective. He could do the transatlantic flights also from Paris to New York several times. In the First World War, they were used for the bombing purpose, but they were the sitting ducks because they were very slow. So just a single bullet there and whole hydrogen will explode, and they were not very resistive to the attacks, counter attacks. So they were not much used, but to some extent they were used. The regular passenger service was on, but in 19 1938, that means in a very recent days, until up to 1938, they were in action. But in 1938, the Hindenburg, which was another famous Zeppelin, dashed across the pillar to which it used to get anchored and then exploded. All the passengers and a lot of property was destroyed, and thereafter, the lighter than air aircraft for the human use were completely stopped.
For books by Mr. Madhav Khare, visit www.jyotsnaprakashan.com. For many other products from paper gliders up to remote control planes, exhibitions, workshops, lectures, etc., write to hilarious.aeroclub@gmail.com or kharemg@gmail.com.